Good afternoon. My name is Ashif Mauji, and I'm honored to stand before you today as a board member for the Edmonton Police Foundation. It is with great excitement that I announce the launch of our Community Solutions Accelerator, or CSA, challenge. The CSA is a platform developed by the Edmonton Police Foundation and the Edmonton Police Service to harness innovation and creativity in addressing pressing crime issues within our community. Through this initiative, we aim to engage individuals, organizations, and experts in collaboratively developing effective solutions to combat various forms of criminal activities that impact the safety and well-being of our residents. In the past, our challenges have focused on addressing significant crime issues within our community, such as the liquor store theft challenge that you've heard of and seen, the catalytic converter thefts, and so on. However, this year, we are shifting our focus to combat the rising threats of online scams and cryptocurrency. To tackle this critical issue, we have partnered with the Alberta Securities Commission to introduce the challenge called Scam Shield. It's an investor protection challenge, an integral part of our CSA program. So why this challenge and why now? Well, in the face of a global increase in online crypto investment fraud, Canada, and particularly Alberta, is looking for new ways to stop this growing threat. The Alberta Securities Commission, or the ASC, recently highlighted the most prevalent crypto-related scams of 2024, revealing a landscape where fraudsters leverage technology and psychological manipulation to deceive investors. Social media, deepfake scams, emotionally manipulative romance scams, and online financial grooming frauds are not only sophisticated, they're devastatingly effective. Our challenge seeks innovative solutions that can disrupt these scams and at their inception and prevent victimization. This year's challenge is not limited to just our local community here at Edmonton. In fact, we're extending our reach globally, calling upon individuals from around the world to submit their innovative solutions to combat internet crimes through our dedicated platform at herox.com/scamshield. We've used this platform for our other challenges, and we've had entries coming in, like over 200 entries coming in from every continent. So the reach is broad, and that's what we're hoping for this time as well. The support from the Alberta Securities Commission has been overwhelmingly generous, enabling us to offer a substantial prize of up to $130,000 for the most viable solution or solutions. There might be a number of solutions that we adopt. The partnerships we form with organizations like the Edmonton Police Service and the Alberta Securities Commission are essential in our ongoing efforts to make our community a safer place for all. By joining forces with police agencies and regulatory bodies, we can leverage our resources and expertise to effectively address and mitigate criminal activities that threaten the well-being of our residents. The Edmonton Police Foundation recognizes the important collaboration in tackling complex crime issues. By working hand in hand with the EPS, we can support law enforcement efforts, provide additional resources, foster innovation to address these threats immediately, and together we can strive for a safer work environment and a safer environment for our residents. They can live, work, and thrive without fear of falling victim to criminal activities. Our partnership with the Alberta Securities Commission is a testament to the power of collective action in combating financial crimes. Their dedication to investor protection and market integrity aligns perfectly with our mission to safeguard our community against fraud and scams. We're deeply grateful to the Alberta Securities Commission for spearheading this challenge and for their pivotal role in raising awareness about online scams and cryptocurrency fraud. As we launch the Scam Shield Challenge, we invite individuals, innovators, and organizations from all over the world to join us on this critical mission. Your expertise, creativity, dedication, and entrepreneurship will make a real difference in the fight against crimes. Together, we can build a stronger, more resilient community that is better equipped to confront the challenges posed by cyber criminals. I'm urging everyone to spread the word about the Scam Shield. Use your social media, spread the news about it. encourage folks to apply maybe from our universities, et cetera. You can form teams and so forth as well, so do it together. Thank you to the Alberta Securities Commission for their commitment to protecting investors and consumers and for their invaluable support in launching the Scam Shield Challenge. Together, we can make a lasting impact in the fight against online scams and cryptocurrency fraud. Thank you. I'll invite Devin now to come up.
Thank you very much, Chief. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for all coming this afternoon. I would like to thank you, say a special thanks to certainly Chief, our Edmonton Police Foundation, Alberta Securities Commission partners for joining us here today to launch the latest Community Solutions Accelerator Challenge. Every day, police respond to victims of crime who suffer great pain and loss, and fraud victims are no different. Last year, there were over 5,000 victims of fraud in Edmonton who lost a staggering $50 million. Investment scams accounted for over $15 million across 185 different victims. Crypto alone made up $7 million of those losses. This included a combination of investment and romance scams, as often a scammer will enter into an online relationship. They'll build trust with the victim before convincing them to invest their money into what appears to be a legitimate and profitable venture. Every year, the growing number of victims and losses from online investment scams remains a significant concern. So far in 2024, the trend unfortunately continues. At the end of May, that number was almost $6 million in losses. This speaks to the ruthless and unrelenting way in which fraudsters target their victims. As technological developments present more opportunity, criminals find increasingly creative ways to exploit individuals. They are continuously refining their methods to abuse the digital economy. We know that all forms of fraud are vastly underreported, with only 5 to 10% of fraud victims reporting their experiences. So the true losses just in Edmonton alone would be in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Understandably, many people are too traumatized or embarrassed to report these crimes to police, so they keep these incidents secret. The reality is that any one of us can become a victim of fraud. Cryptocurrency, while not an illegal form of currency, has become a favorite tool for scammers due to its anonymity and difficulty in tracking transactions. Once a transaction is complete, it cannot be stopped, and recovering lost funds is rare and complex. This, paired with the emotional exploitation and psychological manipulation tactics that scammers often employ, makes a nefarious combination. Most of us couldn't be this heartless, but criminals can, and they can be quite convincing about it. Many victims lose substantial amounts of money by mistakenly believing they are engaging in legitimate transactions. Scammers take their time building this trust before convincing them to invest in what appears to be a profitable venture. They often provide a false sense of security, making it appear as though funds can be returned or withdrawn only to disappear with the money. Beyond financial loss, which can sometimes be an entire life savings, fraud can strip victims of their dignity, their trust, and even the sense of security. For some, the impact may take a lifetime to overcome. We need to encourage victims to report to police, to share those experiences, and help raise awareness to prevent future fraud before it happens. One of the best ways to counter fraud is to talk about it, so we all know how to spot the signs. Police, and certainly our partners like the Alberta Securities Commission, will continue to investigate and pursue these criminals to the fullest extent. But the pervasiveness of this issue makes it one that we cannot tackle alone. Fraud can happen to anyone, anywhere. It does not discriminate, and that's why we are here today. Fraud prevention requires a collective effort. While the situation is concerning, there is hope. The Scam Shield Challenge aims to foster innovative solutions to combat the rising trend of online investment fraud and curb its alarming growth. Our hope is by working together, we can save victims from losing millions of dollars in investment fraud. Whether it's a tool that protects investors or a resource to assist investigators and our regulating agencies, ideas proposed through this challenge have the potential to help tackle this nationwide issue. Modern issues like crypto scams require innovative approaches, and we are very much looking forward to the pioneering solutions that competitors will bring forward. Thank you. Cynthia.
Thank you, Deputy. Good afternoon. I'm Cynthia Campbell, Director of Enforcement for the Alberta Securities Commission. For those not familiar with the ASC, we are the regulatory agency responsible for administering Alberta's securities laws. The Enforcement Division of the ASC is responsible for detecting, disrupting, investigating, and prosecuting securities misconduct in our province, which can range from investigating individuals or companies that are alleged to have broken securities laws to warning the public about fraudulent crypto investment websites and much more. I am so pleased to be here today as the ASC, the EPF, and the EPS launch the next Community Solutions Accelerator Challenge, Scam Shield, which is focused on obtaining new and innovative solutions to a growing threat to Albertans and Canadians, online crypto investment fraud. In my role at the ASC, I see the devastation that Albertans face from these frauds. The ASC and our partners in law enforcement are using a multi-pronged approach to tackle this problem. We have developed informational resources and conduct significant outreach to support investors' investment literacy and to increase understanding of online cryptocurrency investments. We also provide information to the public on crypto-related investment fraud and scams. We recognize the importance of partnership in getting our message out and in generating solutions to this complex problem. To complement this work, we see an opportunity to engage academia as well as the technology, innovation, and enforcement sectors to come up with additional ways to prevent more Albertans from falling prey to fraudsters. It will only make our capital market stronger if we can all work together to reduce the prevalence of these crimes. As has been said, any one of us can be the victim of an investment scam, regardless of age, investment knowledge, financial means, or level of education. We recognize, too, that more and more Albertans are finding it difficult to make ends meet and may be looking for ways to make money. Indeed, I find that many victims who come forward do not believe themselves to actually be investors, but in fact are just trying to find ways to earn extra money to make ends meet. And they get lured into a scam by believing it can solve their financial troubles. Others are brought to these investment scams by someone they've met online, or by seeing an ad on a social media website, or by searching online for crypto investment opportunities. You've heard how these scams work from Deputy Chief LaForce, with fraudsters using technology and psychological manipulation to deceive investors through things like social media deepfakes, emotional manipulation, romance scams, and other online financial grooming techniques. The impact of these crimes is catastrophic. The Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre states that Canadians reported losing approximately $309 million in 2023 to investment fraud, with more than 60% of that being crypto-related. And as has been stated, only a small percentage of frauds are truly reported. The vast majority go underreported. The impact of these crimes, however, goes well beyond financial losses. And I think when dealing with this problem, it's really important not to forget the people, the victims behind these crimes. The numbers are only part of the story. The people tell the true story. And with that, I'd like to share with you one victim's story, which I've anonymized to protect the victim's identity. Rachel is an Albertan. She's a busy mom of 3 who also works full-time. She owned a home and had begun to save for her children's education and for her own retirement. But in early 2023, she was having a hard time making ends meet due to inflation. She searched online for opportunities to increase her household income, and she came upon a Facebook ad that caught her eye. It featured Elon Musk, talked about AI trading, and the promise of a fixed income. Rachel filled out the contact form and was contacted shortly thereafter by an advisor. This advisor seemed to be very helpful. He offered to help her set up an account on her computer, and so he gained access online as she shared her screen, and he used that access to obtain her banking information from her computer. Rachel didn't know this, and once her account was seemingly set up, she soon began to see good profits on the money that she invested. Due to the early success and the ongoing grooming by her financial advisor, she began investing more money. Meanwhile, the scammer also took out lines of credit from Rachel's bank using her stolen banking information. When Rachel tried to withdraw money from this online platform that she had been investing in, she was told first that she would have to pay more money in fees. She did that. She was then told she would have to pay additional money in taxes to withdraw her investment. She did that. Eventually, Rachel realized she was not going to be able to withdraw any of that money. And in fact, her money was long gone. It had been stolen by the scammers. Rachel lost more than $340,000 in this scam, including her RSPs, her children's RESPs, and the debt from the lines of credit that she now has from the funds that were taken out using her stolen banking credentials. She's deeply in debt and feels tremendous shame. Her car has been repossessed. Late last year, her home was foreclosed. She does not have enough money now to feed her children and to pay down this debt, despite the fact she is now working 2 jobs. The impact of this fraud has also led to a serious decline in Rachel's health, her mental health, and she is under medical care. This is only one example of the thousands of victims who are out there in Canada who are suffering from these online crypto investment frauds and the devastating toll that these frauds are having. This can happen to any one of us and to our friends, our family, and our neighbors. Thank you to every one of the victims who comes forward and reports these crimes. Your courage in doing so helps us to be aware of the prevalence and how these crimes are morphing and what we can do to address them. And we are optimistic that novel solutions to this issue that will complement the work we are already doing will be identified through the Scam Shield Challenge. We welcome interested individuals and teams to visit the Scam Shield Challenge webpage on HeroX to learn more and to submit a proposal. Also, I'd like to say that if you or someone you know has been the victim of an online investment fraud, please report it to your local police service or to the Alberta Securities Commission. You can easily and securely file a complaint online at asc.ca or by calling 1-877-355-4488. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? And if you have a question, if you can please go up to the microphone to ask your question.
You've already touched on it. How common is it for these scams to kind of, as you say, morph? Like it sounds like they continuously evolve. Can you just speak to that a little bit and how hard it is to kind of keep up with the scammers?
We do see a constant iteration in the scams, and to a large extent, the fraudsters who are orchestrating these schemes are using technology and AI to their advantage. And so they're learning more and they're becoming more sophisticated. And one of the things we're seeing is there are more customized, tailored scams in how they approach people and identifying where people's vulnerabilities are, relying upon your online digital footprint. So.
If I just add, so a lot of these scams are incredibly sophisticated. They're incredibly organized, and certainly, like every enterprising business, criminal or otherwise, right? So they learn from their mistakes and they get better at it. And certainly, when you have some of these technological advancements with AI, as Cynthia has stated, then these things do make it very difficult and certainly very easier for just anyone to become victim of these frauds.
What does it look like?
Sure. Others might have other examples to say, but certainly it is the world over. And so we have a number of our financial crimes, some of these online attacks and scams. Some of them are orchestrated overseas. Some of them are across the country, and some of them are just in our own backyards and our own communities. So it really is from everywhere. Technology certainly crosses borders and crosses oceans pretty easily, and so we can become victims of criminals everywhere.
So to add to that question, what reach do police currently have to tackle a crime that often transcends national borders?
Yeah, certainly we work with our partners, kind of like the theme of this day, certainly with our help from the Edmonton Police Foundation with this challenge, Alberta Securities Commission. But the reality is we work with our policing partners, so we work with federal law enforcement, the RCMP, and we definitely have worked with Interpol upon occasion, with other big agencies across the world and in other countries. So law enforcement does communicate well together and does work well with each other, and so we definitely have recourse and we're able to get those suspects from elsewhere.
And I don't know if you can speak to any existing methods that are used to flag scams as they're occurring.
Regulators and law enforcement agencies are increasingly using technology to detect these scam websites. The prevalence of them is increasing by the thousands. It's becoming very cheap and easy for these websites to proliferate, and so we need to keep up with that in our ability to detect the websites, and we're using technology as best we can to do so.
I'll just add to that. So there are virus checkers, et cetera, that, for example, Norton or whatever, that if you do have it installed on your computer, and you have the website browsing element turned on, it'll detect phishing sites and things like that. So there's some level of protection if those virus software or malware software are installed. But outside of that, if somebody is actually trying to trick you, these software packages aren't smart enough yet to detect that.
About the challenge, can you elaborate a little bit more on the submission process? What does that look like, and what kind of criteria will you be using to judge?
Yeah, so that's a great question. The website is herox.com/scamshield. There's a whole bunch of information on the background of the challenge, what's been tried, some of the stats, in terms of how many are affected, et cetera. So it gives the proposal or the proponent, if you will, some idea of what have we tried, what hasn't worked, et cetera, et cetera. Allows them to form teams if they want. But then it's a very simple submission process. They put in their idea. They can attach PDFs or images if they need to depict how it works, and then put down costs. What does it cost to implement this challenge? What are some of the key success factors? How will we measure if it's working, and so forth? So that's the submission process. We have a panel of judges, so members from the Alberta Securities Commission, members from the Edmonton Police Foundation, we have members from the University of Alberta. So we brought in entrepreneurs, people in law enforcement, as well as those that are aware of this kind of a scam, if you will. And so that's how we will use these judges to look at these applications and score it based on merit, ability to be effective, price point, and how easy is it to deploy? Is it going to be something that everybody can use, or does it take a long time to implement?
Has this worked before, this type of initiative? Has it paid off?
Really briefly. So yeah, we certainly have done a number of community solutions accelerator challenges, and so I know just certainly recently with the catalytic converter challenge, where Chief Maji has stated that we've had literally hundreds of submissions, and there's incredible talent, some very creative solutions, incredible brain power that's out there, and it's just kind of part of that understanding that, hey, these crimes do hit all of us, so how do we as a collective community can come together and kind of think of some solutions to actually make a difference. The other one was the liquor store challenge, which again, we had some really good, really positive outcomes, both of which really made a dent on those types of crimes into our community. And so we're obviously hoping the same with the support of the Alberta Securities Commission in this one, and tackling some of these cyber scams, investment scams.
So this might be a really simple question, but cryptocurrency, are we talking just Bitcoin? Are we what is included in cryptocurrency, I guess, for those of us that don't know?
These scams purport to use all different types of cryptocurrencies. So we're talking about all types of virtual currency. Bitcoin would be one that is commonly referred to, but there are many different types of cryptocurrency. The reality is there isn't any true investment behind the scenes once you lift the veil on these scams. But often people, when they believe they're investing into it, will transact the funds either out of their bank account or through a potentially legitimate crypto exchange platform, and then their funds are sent through various virtual currencies into the scammers' pockets.
Okay.
Yeah,
What?
if I just will add, so obviously the reason why cryptocurrencies is used because, again, of that complexity that it also adds, right? There's a lot more easier tracking, a lot more records and documentation that we can access through kind of our typical traditional banking systems. And with cryptocurrency, there's just introduced some complexities and some anonymity and some wallet apps, et cetera, that just make things more difficult for law enforcement or for regulators.
Just one follow-up. Is this targeting a specific demographic? Like I know you mentioned romance scams, kind of investment. I know in the past we've done stuff on some of the newcomers being targeted by Bitcoin. Like, is it kind of all across the board, or is there one group or another that you've noticed is targeted more often?
What's really interesting with these online crypto investment scams is they're targeting everyone. We are seeing across the demographics that people are being victimized. Last year, we did an outreach across the country to about 500 victims, and we spoke with people between the ages of 15 and 90 who had been victimized. We are seeing university students. We are seeing seniors. We're seeing people who are pre-retirement. We're seeing new Canadians. We are seeing across the demographics, and it's why it's really important when we're evaluating potential solutions. We're looking for something that, when it's implementable, will reach as many Albertans as possible or help us to protect as many Albertans, because this truly is targeting everyone.
For the public, and this might be for more ASC, for the public, is there a place that they can go if they want to do their own research into the individual or the company or website that is being a financial advisor? Is there somewhere they can go to kind of verify that they're registered?
So if anyone is interested in learning more about investment, we have some great resources at the Alberta Securities Commission online on a website called checkfirst.ca. You can go there and check registration to find out if someone is registered with the ASC or with any securities regulator in Canada. If someone is not registered and they're offering you a financial opportunity, that's a huge red flag and an extreme risk. We urge you to be cautious there. Also on checkfirst.ca is information and educational resources about identifying red flags of scams, frauds, and other securities-related misconduct. There are great resources there to inform you and equip yourself and protect yourself and everyone you know. So we encourage people to go there. I also want to say, in Canada, crypto trading platforms are required by law to be registered. And at this point in time, there are only 15 registered crypto trading platforms in this country. There are thousands of scam websites out there that offer that they can trade in crypto. Thousands and thousands of scam websites, 15 companies that are actually properly registered. And so you can go to checkfirst.ca and from there to the Canadian Securities Administrators website and find the list of 15 that are in fact registered in Canada. So checkfirst.ca, lots of great educational resources about investing and about investment-related fraud.